using the phone. But before that, as I told you, as I promised, that you're going to have a lot in store for you. You know, we have amazing performances coming up. And apart from that, I'm going to take you somewhere. Where? I'm going to take you to moto hubs across the country to make you meet a lot of people, you know, some moto fans, and not just that, you know, they'll be playing some games, कुछ fun games करने वाले हैं उनके साथ, ये सब होगा. But before that, I think I should take you to where it all started from. Yes, take you to 1928 because that is where it started. But अगर मैं लेके जाऊंगा तो थोड़ा अलग हो सकता है. कोई और हैं जो आपको लेके जाने वाले हैं. Let me show you this talented young man who's putting out a unique story using sand creatively, just the way you would explore your creativity using the new Moto G6 and G6 Play. Watch out for Sarvan Patel and his inspired retelling of the history of Motorola. Guys, so I'm sure you guys are having a great time. As I told you, we have a lot in store for you. Entertainment भी है, moto hubs भी हैं, बहुत सारे fans भी हैं. लेकिन apart from that, कुछ और लोग हैं जो आप लोगों से बात करना चाहते हैं. I have some bloggers here and I want them to talk to you. So I think I'll exit and over to the bloggers.
Hello everyone, welcome to the launch, this grand and phenomenal launch of G6 and G Play. So we have some bloggers over here and they're going to share their first impression of these amazing smartphones coming from Motorola. So we have Rohan with us. Hi Rohan. So what do you feel about this amazing launch over here? This is Moto G6 and Moto G6 Play. So what is your first impression?
So talking about the Moto G6, the phone does come with a premium design, which is kind of missing in this price segment. Plus, and if you add the modest specs and the stock Android, which comes with really good features like Moto Actions, Moto Display, and other key features, which really make it a good package for the consumers.
So which is the best feature for you personally?
Personally, I quite like the Moto Actions and the Moto Display. So for the Moto Display, you get all the notification from directly from your lock screen. So that saves a lot of time. And the Moto Actions, which basically gives you gesture-based navigation controls, which makes it easier to navigate throughout your phone.
Would you like to talk about the camera of the phones?
The camera seems to be good. As now, till now we have tested, the camera does look good, and we are hopeful that it will come really good in our review. In our upcoming review, so let's hope for the best.
All right, so you might have also seen the beautiful showcase of the history of Motorola. So what's your take on that? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, Motorola does have a very, a great and rich history from 90 years. So they started selling the car radio to their iconic Razr phone, which created, gargantuan waves in the tech industry, to now the Moto G series, which again is very popular series in India, till now the Moto G6. The journey has been really good for Motorola. They have come up with really good products, be it smartphones, be it in other areas. So they are doing a pretty good job.
All right, so you are a blogger. You might have been to different launches. So what do you feel is unique about this launch? So I feel it is really grand and phenomenal. So what's your idea about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this part. So the launch event is absolutely great. So you get a lot of attraction, a lot of things going on, whether be it the experience center or being the, the way they, what did I say, the way they present the whole presentation was really good.
And anything about the entertainment factor that we have added to the event? Anything about that?
Yeah, it was really good, and it was really mesmerizing to see all the artists performing so well during the event. So that was really a good takeaway from the whole Moto G6 launch.
So thank you so much, Rohan, for talking to us. So this was Rohan, and we will be talking to the other bloggers as well soon. So yeah, so we'll be talking to the rest of the bloggers. So hi.
Hi, Vivin this side from Gizmo Maniacs.
Okay, so Vivin, what do you feel about Moto G6 and Moto G6 Play?
So I feel definitely these are the new devices, what people are waiting, and the G series is one of the hit products of Motorola. So definitely a huge hype here.
And would you like to highlight the features that you were personally impressed with?
So I definitely like the color texture. It has a 3D color texture, which is definitely very different and unique because it gives blue, sometimes indigo blue, sometimes it looks like a black color, and the dual camera for taking the portrait shots, and also the fast charging support.
Yeah, so and anything about the design?
The design I already told you, it has a 3D back. It looks very premium in the hand.
Yeah, it's stunning, absolutely. And I am sure you might have gone through the history wall, how beautifully we have showcased the history of Motorola. So what would you like to say about that?
So always the Motorola has a feel of personalization. So people have been using the Moto devices in 90 years, as they have told. So that is a unique thing, which we also don't know.
So Motorola has a phenomenal history and a beautiful journey. And what would you like to say about this event? It is grand, it is phenomenal, and it is really unique in its own way. I have been to different launches, but this is really unique. So what would you like to add on that?
Really like the live performance done by the performers, and it was really amazing and different in other aspects with the launches happened earlier.
All right. So thank you, Vivin, for talking to us. And we have somebody else also joining us, another blogger, and he will also share his experience and his take on this amazing smartphone. So hi.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
Okay, Ivan. So what would you like to say about the all-new Moto G6?
These are pretty important products for Motorola. G series has been really important. Motorola, I think, would be banking on these devices a lot. This is probably one of the first phones introduced in India this year by the company. So yeah, I think there would be a lot of attention on the devices.
Okay, so talking about the design, we know it has got a 3D design, but I am personally fond of cameras. I look for the camera of a phone. So anything that you would like to comment on the camera of the phone?
Right now, the competition in market is pretty hot. These cameras would be tested a lot against many devices, and we'll see how they fare.
So the cameras are coming with a lot of effects, a lot of features, and they are high on specs as well. And what would you like to say about the history of Motorola? Because I became aware about this beautiful history of Motorola. So if you have been through the history wall, what would you like to say about that? The history of Motorola.
I mean, Motorola has been one of the pioneers in the semiconductor and sensors industry. They have a very diverse portfolio now, which has been attention has been shifted to smartphones they are making. Motorola was the first company to make the mobile phone, so the history is pretty rich. But there are now many companies in the fray, so they'll have to dig it out and make themselves a center of attention.
And what would you like to say about this amazing, unique launch event of Motorola? Because, you know, it's really unique, it's really creative in its own way. So what would you like to say on that?
It was very crisp. It was to the point. Thankfully, they didn't stretch it for long. A lot of events stretch for too long, and people who are sitting in the crowd or even watching the live stream lose the interest. They didn't do that. They kept it short and sweet. That's pretty good.
So there's a lot happening over here, and I'm sure everybody is having an amazing time at this launch of Moto G6 and Moto G6 Play. So thank you for talking to us. So well, we had the bloggers talking to us about these phenomenal smartphones, much awaited smartphones of the year. So yes, thank you.
Moto G6 and Moto G6 Play. So can we please have the gentleman here, please? एक बार तालियां थोड़ी होनी चाहिए यार, है ना? आहा, क्या बात है, mind blowing, mind blowing. So there you are, nice to see you. Please have your seat. और मैं, I think it's over to you now, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please take your seat and मैं ये आपके पास छोड़ जाता हूँ. ये मेरे phones हैं, मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए दे रहा हूँ आपको. Okay? हाँ.
Unboxing है, उसके साथ we also want to know the story behind the beard यार.
Yeah, story behind the beard. हाँ यार, actually मैं एक film कर रहा हूँ, उसमें सरदार बनाऊँ. तो उसके लिए मैंने थोड़ी दाढ़ी उगा ली. लेकिन मैं फिलहाल सोच रहा था दाढ़ी में फ़ोन छुपा के चला जाऊँ. इट्स सच अ गुड लुकिंग फ़ोन, बट देन ऐसे थोड़ी देर के लिए मैं आपको अपने फ़ोन लेंड कर रहा हूँ. प्लीज़ अनबॉक्स वापस ज़रूर देके जाना.
बिल्कुल मनीष. यू नो मनीष, वैसे आप आराम से कर सकते थे. बॉक्स तो नहीं छुपा सकते, बट फोन्स आर वेरी स्लिम. दाढ़ी इज फाइन, उसमें छुप जाएंगे.
लेकिन यार
8 mm यार,
इनकी जो 3D ग्लास बॉडी है ना, दे आर सो शाइनी. वो मेरी दाढ़ी में चमकते और लोग कहते हैं चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका नहीं, चोर की दाढ़ी में मोबाइल फोन. लेकिन है ना, वो हो सकता था, बट आई थिंक स्टिल थोड़ी देर के लिए दे रहा हूँ, मुझे दे जरूर जाना. ओवर टू यू जेंटलमैन, प्लीज एंजॉय सर.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
Which one do you want to play? Okay. Maybe we just take the mic from you for a second. Okay. So let's start off with the Moto G. Great, thank you. So the Moto G. Can you hold the mic while I do this? It'll become a little easier. So I'm going to give you the broad specs of this. The plastic still on it, so let's get that out.
Thank you.
So once again, of course, Motorola does very well with their packaging. So a nice, a lime and lemon green boxing, which I think is interesting. Always makes for an interesting box. The box as important. I still wonder though, and I'd love to find out from all of you that are live out there, what's the fascination? I mean, there was a time when unboxing became a big deal.
Yeah.
And then it went away, but now unboxing mobile phones is now the hottest thing all over again. So I'm just wondering why. We'd love to hear from you. Why unboxing, the curiosity behind just the fact that it's a box and the product comes out makes for such a sensation. So this is the phone. Once again, first impressions that I'm going to give you, and then we'll move to Abhishek, and then we'll have questions for Thomas. Is that this dual ring camera looks very professional. You feel like you have a professional camera in your hand. Dual camera this time from Motorola. Beautiful 3D back. So I don't know how much is going to translate when I show it to you like this, but it is absolutely wonderfully put together. So as always, Motorola scores very high on the looks department. Screen again is a full FHD plus. Again, a camera at the front also. 3000 mAh battery and a pretty thin phone, as you can see. So I'd say in terms of the ergonomics, the form factor, the look and feel, the camera and the optics, fingerprint scanner right at the front. So it's not a back fingerprint scanner right here where the button is. And 18:9 is the screen orientation. So that's the broad first impression that I have. I'm going to give it to Abhishek to tell us what he thought about the phone, and then maybe we'll come up with a quick opinion and a question. You want to open the second one? Should we do this one first?
Okay, let's go with this.
So I'll hold this for you now.
I quite like it. So it's a fingerprint magnet, yes. That's with all glass backs, but it looks very nice. And I quite like this camera, and it's been 2 generations now. This has been announced because it quite looks like an emoji. I'm not sure how it looks on the live stream, but it looks like an emoji, 2 eyes, and I guess so that was the design.
Which emoji would it be?
I'm not sure. I'm not 19, so I don't know many emojis.
Okay, I'm almost 19, so I'll tell you what I think. It's the one where the 2 eyes are popping and the emoji is like that. That one. It is. Look.
But what do you call that emoji?
It's supposed to be called the wow emoji, but let's see which one. I almost think it's that one.
I don't mind if the camera is saying wow when it's looking at me. So that's okay. That works. Quite like the because it's the new 18:9 tall display. So bigger phone, still compact, fits very well in the hand. I'm not much fan of the big phones that don't fit in the hand or don't go in smaller pockets. So I quite like that this is compact with a good screen size. So good first impressions. Let's look what Play has.
Okay. So maybe we can have a few questions,
Yep.
Thomas, before we move on to the next phone with this one. So I think the most asked question, and I'm sorry to throw this one out to you right away.
If it's the most asked, I've probably heard
You already know it, right? So the most asked question, which isn't to do with the phone that we've just unboxed, but it's to do with the one that you didn't launch, which is the Plus version.
Sure.
When I said that I'm going to be doing this live, the three of us, and I'm sure the number of people that are here, lots of bloggers and other, raise your hands, all those that had a question as to why the Moto G6 Plus was not launched in India. Anybody interested in that? Okay, that's about 70% of your audience.
Only two.
That's the most number.
It's all the people that are waiting outside. This is a full house. A lot of people want to know why. Is it because the price point isn't something you want to play for in India? Is it a future launch? And then I have multiple questions on this one.
Yeah, no, we are definitely planning on launching it in India at a later date. Right now, we do still have the Moto X4 in market. So the Moto G Plus G6 Plus is very, very popular, doing very, very well in Latin America right now. So right now we're kind of reserving, the quantities there because we do still have the Moto X4, but we are planning on getting it here rather soon.
Okay, great. So that answers all your questions. All those who've been saying Moto may not get it here. I think we've got an answer that it'll eventually come in. Okay,
Yes.
so I'll do the first question here. The G series, as we also saw with the presentation on stage, is all about the fact that since 2013 you have a very successful series called the G series. Has been growing exponentially in terms of, but the price promise and the product promise has always been extremely affordable, but with a great amount of features that you usually find in higher priced products.
Sure.
Would you say that this is exactly the epitome of that? You think the G6 is exactly taking that legacy forward?
Yeah, I would say, I think, to your point, it is at a higher price point of when we launched the original Moto G. Phone features have changed a lot since then. I mean, we're in a completely different time now. I mean, 5 years, it seems like yesterday, but looking at technology, it has changed a lot. So I think overall, yeah, I think the premium quality as far as like something that you just could not get at the price point, obviously there's a lot more competitors out there, but when you look at the build quality of this device, you look at the feature set, the overall experience, it being more than the sum of its parts, I think it is still kind of delivering at that price point. And we do have, our Moto E family as well that kind of can help deliver at that lower price point as well.
One of the, and going back to 2013, one of the initial and the big pitches for Moto G was, as well as Moto E, was the stock Android experience with, of course, Moto enhancements. That's a pitch that worked very well for a lot of people. There are a lot of stock Android fans, but do you think that pitch is diluted now with a lot of other brands going for stock Android, including the newcomers like Nokia?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's diluted. I would say it's clearly something consumers want, but is it as differentiated as it was before?
It's not a unique
not as
proposition
much so,
anymore.
but it's very important nonetheless.
So, Abhishek and I are having a quick conversation just before we got onto this stage. And both of us agree, so that's the good part, is that one of the things you said on stage is that maybe phones selling purely on specs and numbers and everything else is a dying art because, phones are over-spec'd. You gave a great example of the fact that if you have too many megapixels on a phone and you don't really have the right sensor, or you don't have the right delivery optics to actually convert that, you may be getting what we all, at least in our journalistic community, call crap pixels, right? You can get a lot of crap pixels on your phone, right? So we completely agree that the over-specification of mobile phones is actually bad for the consumer. But do you believe that the consumer knowledge is there to understand that right now?
I think in some areas, yeah, it is. And in other regions, consumers are actually less focused on specs and more focused on kind of the overall experience of the device. I think in India specifically, it is a very spec-focused market, and I think there is good reason because when you're looking at phones at a certain price point, I think there's been this feeling of like, oh, if I don't have a good enough processor, I'm just not going to have a good experience with this device. But I think a lot of that is also related to the quality of the phones that are being put into the market and focusing solely on those specs and still not necessarily delivering on that good mobile experience. And our focus has always been just Like, let's try to make it clear to the consumer that, you know, their best interest is what we are focused on. It's not just the processor, it's not the number of megapixels, but it's what's going to provide the best imaging quality, what's going to provide the best build quality. Are you going to notice a difference if a 400 series versus a 600 series? Not that there's anything wrong with the 600 series processor, but is it, how big of a difference will a consumer know? What's more important, getting them the right phone, the right experience at the right price, or putting in this other processor and making the phone more expensive, or potentially sacrificing design, build quality, and image quality? So
You've made
it's a balancing act.
You've made that choice and put out the phones. Do you also plan to push that narrative in the marketing that Motorola does?
Yeah, that's definitely what we're focused on with the Hello You campaign. It is really all about the consumer. That we're not going out there talking about specs. We're talking about you, and what's important to you.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the mat and then put him on the mat, and I'll put myself on the mat also. Okay, so you'll start by saying the top one feature. Now you can't choose any others. There may be 2, 3, 5, 10 you like. What's the top one feature you like? Then I'll give one, and we're going to get Thomas to give the last 3. The top 3 features you believe on the phone, which can't be the same as the 2 of us. Okay, so go.
Oh, it's very difficult. But what I'll put it as Moto phones, and not just this one because I've not used this for a longer while. It's a well-rounded reliability of Motorola phones. So that's the sole pitch that I look at when I look at a Motorola phone. Maybe it's not the best. Again, I've not used it. I'm just hypothetically shooting
It's the
it.
best.
Maybe it's not the best camera. Maybe it's not got the maximum pixels in the camera, but the overall well-rounded ability of a Motorola phone is what attracts me, is what makes me pick the phone and review it for my audience.
That's actually true. So much of the consumer feedback that we get after we've done our reviews, when we've done our social media, is that the overall experience of a Motorola phone is very well-rounded. And speaking of very well-rounded, my top choice, if I am restricted to one, is actually this very well-rounded back and this whole 3D look. I love the look of this phone. I think at this price point, this is an incredibly nice looking phone for sure. It gives you that immediate feeling that it's a very premium phone. You know, in India, we are very famous for the fact that irrespective of where the phone is when we are walking around and standing, when we sit down and talk, we always keep our phones on our table. I would recommend everybody that buys this phone to keep it the opposite way, because with the back showing, it looks far better. It's a very nice looking phone. So you will get a lot of people saying, wow, which phone is that? So we've done the overall user experience rounded off, the overall rounded off awesome look, feel, and the ergonomics. We're leaving the last 3 to you.
So one thing on, when you do put the phone like this, we do have a feature called Flip to Do Not Disturb, which really kind of helps with your phone life balance. Sorry. Better? All right. We do have a feature called Flip to Do Not Disturb, which really helps consumers manage their phone life balance. So you can turn it on and off. It's completely up to you, but when you do turn your phone over like this, it'll go on silent mode. So anybody that calls you, anybody that texts you, you won't hear a thing. So if you're having dinner, another great reason to flip it over. And
yeah, absolutely. I was saying that I think because of the way we always keep our phones on our table, at least finally, because of that feature being enabled from the very beginning, at least everybody on that table will be able to talk to each other, going back to your phone life balance campaign, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we now have 3 from you.
3 from me. I gotta say the fingerprint sensor, another feature, a software feature that I love, is one button nav. So you can see, you probably can't see, but you can easily, if you're in an app, you can use the fingerprint sensor for everything. No on-screen buttons. You can tap to go home. You can swipe left to go back. You can swipe right to access all of your recent apps. You can hold it down to access Google Assistant. And you can quickly touch it to actually lock the phone. So it literally does everything that you need to do.
Yeah, we actually have, we again have a name for this. It's like a trackpad on your phone itself. So like a laptop trackpad. It works just like that. So that's how we've described it in our review.
So not only do you have a huge 18:9 display, you actually gain additional screen real estate by enabling this. But it's also, in my opinion, an easier way to interact with your device. Another feature I really like that I mentioned is spot color. From an imaging standpoint, a really, really fun feature. And I think once you get out there and play with it, especially like in, you know, great settings where there's all kinds of different colors, you can really capture some cool and fun artistic images with that. Let me see, another one. You know, I think just the display, the 18:9 aspect ratio, the build, like the narrow bezels, and how good everything looks on the screen is just another one of my favorite features. of the
Well,
device.
actually, mine, I thought that would be a third one for sure, is of course all the gestures, especially the
Chop chop is
chop
brilliant.
is,
Chop
it
chop.
just,
Yeah.
I mean, the chop can actually save your chops in a difficult situation for sure.
I just look at that as a given with a Motorola phone at this point. Like, I just can't do without it. I've, you know, I'll test competitor phones, and like, you know, my wife will be asleep in bed, and I'll like don't want to wake her up, and I'll twist it twice, and end up tripping over my dog, you know, and having to pick up my phone off the floor. So having that feature, it's just so easy to access.
It's such a trivial feature, but I do miss it on other phones.
Yeah.
Once you try it out, you're going chop with many other phones, and it's just not
I'm
happening.
telling you,
right?
it's, it happens.
So I hope you're chopping your phone on the other side from where your wife is sleeping, right? Not,
Of course.
not on her side. Okay. Yeah, just to be clear on that.
Right.
Okay, so I think we're the Moto G is looking very interesting. Time now for the Moto G Play. Should I hold this?
Quite like the pattern in the box. Nicely done box. So yeah, here we have. Do I want to open this as well?
Do a proper unboxing.
Yeah.
That's true.
So of course we have headsets. That's quite interesting because a lot of smartphones, even the
Now they've stopped here.
stopped shipping in bundled earphones, the cable, and of course the charger.
And you will notice that the phone actually comes with the cover already put. So not only are they giving you the cover, they're saving you the manual labor of even putting the cover on. So Motorola took care of that also. They put the cover on for you. It's a transparent cover, but they put it on for you. So saves about a calorie of energy.
Was that a dig at me? Okay, so that's the cover. Yes, pretty interesting. It fits nicely. It's not like those aftermarket accessory. It fits very nicely. It's clear. Yeah, it's a clear case, transparent case. If I can hold these side by side, because they look pretty like. Except the emojis are wink here because it's not dual camera, so it's just single camera here. This is the Moto G6 Play.
Actually this now. One eye.
You know a lot about emojis. So yeah, we looked in the box. There's of course the SIM ejector tool, the documentation which says read me, but I'm not sure anybody reads it unless your phone goes bad probably, and that's the tray. So that's what there in the box. It's got everything you need, including the case and the headphones, which are not the ubiquitous accessories. Pretty interesting box. So here we have the phone. Looks pretty similar, of course. In essence, they are similar phones with difference in specifications, and of course, the highlight is the dual camera on the Moto G6.
So yeah, so I think the dual camera on this, and of course that's a 720p HD screen. Once again, the ratio is 18:9, and I think the other big one, if you hold both of them up, if that camera angle is right, they almost look exactly the same in terms of the thickness or how thin they are. But the Moto G Play has a 4000 mAh battery.
Big battery.
That makes, I think, a big difference with the phone itself. So, first
I guess
impressions.
there's different consumers for these. So if you're out in the field and you want bigger battery life, this is the phone you would want to go with. If camera is not that important for you, it's not like an upgrade to that phone. It's two different phones actually.
Yeah, I think so. So my first question again would be that the price difference in Indian rupees is about 2,000 rupees in India, not taking into consideration that Motorola has come up with some very interesting offers at the launch time. But if we just take it to be pure, the price points itself, it's a 2,000 rupee difference in India. Who would buy this phone? Who would buy this phone? What's the target audience according to you? Abhishek came up with one very interesting one, which is, of course, those that are out there in the field and want more battery life. Anything else as a consideration?
I think it's priorities. I think to your point, like some people aren't as into imaging, right? And I think, everybody loves battery life, but I think people that are traveling a lot, people that are on the go a lot, that's probably the phone for them. If imaging isn't as much of a priority, not that it has a bad camera by any means, it does feature phase detection autofocus. It does have definitely a good point and shoot camera, but if imaging is a priority, I think you're going to go with this phone here.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do once again the same thing. The one thing that you really like in this one, I'll do one, and we'll leave
again, 3 to you.
You know, something you actually didn't mention is this phone is actually not glass. So it does have a bit of a different build quality, which is actually...
Right, in fact...
it's not, my point is, it's not very noticeable that it's not as quite as a premium of a material.
But, you know, on first impressions as you take them out, of course, as we'll analyze them more, we'll get to it, but on first impressions as you take them out,
very alike,
it's very difficult, other than, of course, the fingerprint scanner is at the back. Both of them, of course, with the Android 8.0 Oreo.
But that's actually quite a validation of the build quality on this one. That
yes,
matches
that
up
they
to
look
that
to
premium,
the premium one. That's right. Yeah, that's interesting.
The polymer definitely has a really premium finish to it.
That's
the
true.
fingerprint sensor is interesting because it has the bat
Motorola logo on top, the Batman logo.
Yeah, Motorola bat wings.
Okay, so let's do top one thing you like in this.
I'll pick the easiest one, the battery life.
Okay, all
with stock Android with a 720p screen, I guess 4000 mAh is pretty good for 2-day battery life.
Okay, so I'll again, I'm making myself look and feel very shallow, but I think I'll go for the looks again.
No, but that's very important point because there is a sea of similar smartphones.
At about 11,000 rupees or so, the chances that you get a phone that looks very premium isn't really there in the Indian market. So that in itself is a real standout. So don't think that I'm only into looks. I am, but the point of it is that it's not the only thing I look at. But here I'd say once again, it's the first thing that strikes you. Look, nobody buys an ugly phone, right? You want a phone that's thin, slim, looks good, and you feel good that you went and invested that sum of money into it. And this one I think is looking very nice. Of course, like any very good looking shiny phone, the fingerprint magnet is at full scope.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got our first two. We've taken battery and looks already away from you.
That's fine.
The next three.
I'm glad you didn't call the curvature this time because I think that is one of my favorite things. Like the way this phone feels in your hand, it just feels really great in your hand. Again, the 18:9 aspect ratio display and the... I'm sorry? Better? Okay, so the curve of the phone, the way it feels in your hand, it just feels really great. And then the 18:9 aspect ratio, as mentioned before, I think it provides a really engaging, immersive entertainment experience, as well as this phone features it and this phone features it, as well as Dolby Audio. They both have Dolby Audio for a really immersive audio experience.
Okay, so that's two. We need one more.
Well, audio and display, but I can go on. Definitely the Moto features. I think, well, you also do have the selfie flash on this one. I think that is really important to be able to capture like really good low light selfie photos. So I think I'd probably have to go with that.
Okay, those are three. So while of course anybody here that has a question specific to do with product, then we'll get down to maybe a little bit about the marketing and Motorola in India. But anybody that has a quick question, anyone, just raise your hand. Okay, you'll have to shout it out, and then I'll because we are also doing this live on social media. So just tell us your question. We'll give a mic to you. Maybe I can just give this one. Just give this mic out. Now.
Each and every feature.
In case you're doing it so that you wanted to become really famous on Twitter and Facebook, unfortunately the camera is not on you. Okay, so
I can come to there, no problem.
So you could come this way. That will be actually nice.
Thank you for giving
great,
this
perfect.
In Motorola, I liked each and every facility they have given, but I have one concern that why we don't have the notification light LED.
Okay.
Each and every phone have that, but this phone I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah, I think our thought is you don't really need one because we have Moto display. So, I mean, your phone, if you get a notification, it's more of a subtle, it breathes and tells you without really kind of interrupting what you're doing. Because again, it is to that phone-life balance of, you know, not just blaring at you if you have a missed notification or something, but it's always there and it's subtly kind of what we call breathing and letting you know when you do have a notification.
Okay. They're taking care of you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Do you like notifications?
No, actually, I never ever have notifications on my phone. You do?
Yeah, but not with the lights.
Okay, so that's why when you call me, I don't take the calls.
Right. I didn't even know this was an important feature for a lot of people.
Actually speaking, a lot of people ask about it for sure.
I would sometimes miss this in the review because it was not important for me.
Yeah.
And there would be queries specifically about notification light.
So of course, the one other one that is coming in and has become one of the biggest features for most people is, does this have a 3.5 mm headphone jack?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so all of you can breathe easy, so can your ears.
Both of them do.
Both of them do, and can you imagine a feature which we never ever discussed for the last so many years now has become one of the most asked for features. Does it have a micro SD card slot? The answer is yes, up to 256 GB. Does it have a 3.5 mm headphone jack? Yes. Two of the most basic things have now become top premium features, so I'm glad you included them. Okay.
I remember we had this conversation at the year-ender show of Gadget Guru, and surprisingly, of all the innovations in technology, 3.5 mm jack is what we ended up talking about.
So last year when we did a synopsis of the year, and then we asked the top 10 journalists in the country, the 10th one wasn't available, so we had to get Abhishek instead. But so we got them to come together and make a list of the top innovation of 2017, and 3.5 mm headphone jack being present on a phone won it.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Because I think it's a big frustration. So just one or two quick questions that I have on Motorola in India, right? So I'm just going to take that forward. So Motorola right now, of course, doing very well in India, has its user base, has its fans, as we said, that those who use Motorola phones use it for the experience. But India being one of the most aggressive markets in the world now, the number of launches out here are absolutely off the charts.
Yeah.
And to differentiate, to become a phone or a product that rises above the noise, companies are now playing the price and spec factor war, right? How low can you go on price? How high can you go on specs? In this new field, this is a new war where there are new brands that are coming in and doing disruption. How do you believe that the next 6 months for Motorola, maybe because you have some interesting launches that are coming up in the next 6 months, do you believe this affects your thought process of what you create, what you launch, and how you launch it in the country?
I mean, we're always taking that into consideration, during product development. It always comes up. We work closely. We have global teams that work together to kind of make sure that we're defining the right global product. And there are things that we take into consideration, but I don't think we're going to sacrifice like what we ultimately stand for, which is really providing that optimum experience for the consumer. I think it's more important for us to figure out the right way to communicate it to the consumer, and I think we're on a path there right now. But I think it's more about education and making sure the consumer's aware that like it's not all about those numbers. It's more about like everything that your phone can do for you.
And do you believe that in this, of course, this breathless war that we're in the middle of, who's going to blink first? Those that are actually doing this spec and price war, or established brands that actually are continuing to do what they do and stand by what they think is most important? You think there's going to be a blink first game here?
I honestly, I can't say. I think that ultimately quality wins out every time over, just, box specs and stuff like that. It's really, I mean, box specs are only going to get you so far if like you buy a phone and you have a terrible experience with it, right?
I think till a certain point, the limitation was the phones being sold only online, and with Moto Hubs and the entire offline distribution, that is taken care of. So it's broadly available now. So yes, a lot of marketing. We know some brands which plaster the surface of the earth in India with advertisements, and that probably gives a few quarters of growth, but not in the long run. Motorola has been a player which has been since quite a while. Moto G is a fantastic series and has seen a lot of loyal customers, so to say. How do you take this series forward? Is this always an iterative update with the G7 next or whatever comes next?
I can't really speak to future phones, but I think, our foundation...
This is a great platform. Millions of people watching. We could announce the G7. I mean, we could just use the platform.
Like, do them both on the same day. Yeah, I can't really speak to future phone launches, but I think that our foundation is solid. What we've discussed of like really focusing on the customer experience, continually doing that year over year, given as technology prices going down, being able to fit more into the phone, giving consumers a better experience year over year.
Okay. So I think that's, do you have anything else?
No, I guess.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. That's our unboxing with me and Abhishek, and questions with Thomas. So the Moto G6 and the Moto G6 Play available as of today evening, am I right? Starting sales today? Midnight tonight. Okay. So midnight tonight. So if you're a Motorola fan, if you've been waiting for these, or if you're looking for a good new phone, then these could be right up there on your choice list. Both are looking very interesting. And once again, let me answer that question, because I know as soon as I'll go off, I'll be flooded with that again. Yes, they said the Moto G6 Plus will be in India at some point. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Thomas. Thanks a lot. So do keep tuned in, because coming back again is Manish Paul. Thank you. I actually
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Manish Paul back again. Yes, your host for this Moto Showtime with non-stop musty fun and creative expressions. Exactly what the Moto G6 family promises to give. And now that बहुत सारा heavy talk हो गया यार, हमारे tech guru जो हैं, उन्होंने बहुत सारा tech talk हमें दिया है. तो उसके बाद I think it's time for some entertainment again. And as I told you, that we'll be taking you to some motor hubs across the country, and they have some amazing games going on, some amazing questions to ask. So I think I would want to see that right now. So let's connect to our first motor hub, which is in Ghaziabad. So let's go.
Thanks, Manish. This is Arneet, your very own host and host. And today I am here at Shipra Mall, Ghaziabad, standing right in front of the Moto Hub. And I have with me an existing Moto G user. So are you excited?
Yes, I am excited.
Tell us your name.
My name is Akhilesh.
Okay. So are you looking forward to this new Moto G6?
Of course I am. I have G5S Plus and I really want to upgrade it to the new G6. I've got expectations.
Well, that's great. And as we all know that the new Moto G6 has turbo power charging. And let's see how powerful you can be, right?
What do I need to do?
Okay, so are you excited for the fun?
Yes, I am.
So I'm going to give you 3 challenges in a row. And the first challenge for you is going to be, you'll have to do 6 push-ups.
6 push-ups?
Yes, only 6 push-ups.
That's not a challenge for me. I can do 6 different push-ups.
Okay, that will be better. Yeah? Yeah, sure.
Do I do it here?
Yeah, do it here only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that was good. Yes. I was not able to guess what position it was, but yes, it was very good. So the second challenge for you will be to bounce the ball 6 times. Can we have the ball, please? Thank you. So you'll have to bounce it for 6 times. 1, 2, 3, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and...
Can I try again?
Yes, you can try again. We were pretty close to that.
One more try.
So we're giving you one more chance.
I think I did 5.5.
Yeah. Let's count it to be 6 only. Okay, so the last challenge for you would be... Can we have the skipping rope, please?
The last challenge.
For you would be skipping for 60 times.
60?
Yes, only 60 times. I'll be counting. Get set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 57, 58, 59, 60. You were so faster than me. Well, I think that was great. And back to you, Manish.
क्या बात है यार, मतलब इतने कमाल के हमारे ये मोटो हब्स हैं और आपने देख लिया गाजियाबाद में जो पूरे के पूरे बाल कलाकार आए थे, इन्होंने कितना अच्छा फुटबॉल भी खेला। लेकिन चलो ये तो बातें इनकी हो गई, लेकिन उनकी सेहत देख के मुझे लगा नहीं था कि ये एक्चुअल में पुशअप्स कर पाएंगे, बट चलो नॉट बैड यार। अभी काम करते हैं, अगले मोटो हब में मैं आपको लेके चलता हूँ, विच इज इन जनकपुरी। लेट्स सी दिस वन।
Hi Manish, we have 2 very beautiful ladies out here who are fans of Motorola. Okay, so for you I have few questions which you need to answer me. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me any 6 things which you do in your daily routine which starts with letter G.
Okay. Go to gym.
Okay.
And gardening.
Okay.
And gel applying on my face.
Oh.
Okay. And gargling.
Yes.
And grapes eating, and groceries.
Alright, so you do all these activities daily. Gardening also.
Gardening is must.
Okay, thank you so much. So for you, ma'am, tell me 6 countries' name which start with letter G.
All right. So the first one would be Guatemala City.
Okay.
Guayaquil, Georgia, Greece, Greenland. Yeah, thanks. One more to go, right? I don't know the last one. Greenland, I've said it. So the last one would be Germany.
Oh, very nice. So thank you so much, ladies. Back to you, Manish.
क्या बात है यार मतलब बड़ा अच्छा लगा, मतलब इतने सारे कंट्रीज के नाम बता रही थी, बड़ी अच्छी बात है। लेकिन मुझे बेस्ट लगा जो पीछे दुकान के अंदर एस्ट्रोनॉट खड़े थे, मतलब हेलमेट पहन के दुकान के अंदर कौन खड़ा होता है। आई वुड रियली लाइक टू मीट दिस गाय, बट नेवर माइंड, इनको तो हम मिलेंगे बाद में। लेकिन अब मैं आपको लेके चलता हूँ आमची मुंबई में, वहां के मोटो हब में क्या हो रहा है, लेट्स हैव अ लुक।
Hi again. So we have this beautiful lady with us, Shivani. So Shivani, G6 has turbo power battery which keeps it going, and I'm going to ask you what are the 6 things in your life that keeps you going?
Music.
Music, amazing, that keeps me going as well.
Food.
Alright.
Shopping.
Wow, every girl's intention to be born. Like shopping, yeah. What's the 4th one?
Internet.
5th one?
Movies.
Okay.
And sleeping.
Oh my god, that has to be the brilliant one. So that is what keeps Shivani going, and the turbo power battery is what keeps G6, Moto G6 going. So back to you, Manish.
फर्स्ट टाइम मुझे अभी अभी पता चल चुका है कि मेरा नया नया नामकरण हुआ है, दैट इज़ मनीष. सो थैंक यू सो मच ब्यूटीफुल लेडी फॉर टेकिंग माय नेम एज मनीष. बट चलिए कोई बात नहीं, 6 थिंग्स विच कीप्स यू गोइंग. अब ये तो पता चल गया कि आमची मुंबई में क्या सोच रहे हैं, लेकिन अब एक काम करते हैं, मुंबई से वापस लेके चलते हैं आपको हमारे मोटो हब में जो है गाजियाबाद में. और यहाँ पे एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग गेम है, ट्रस्ट मी, आप देखेंगे आपको समझ आएगा. हैव अ लुक.
Manish, right now I am here with a lovely couple, and as we can totally rely on the new Moto G6, so let's check out the amount of trust these guys have for each other. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, Ankush.
Arna. Ankush and Arna. So we are going to play a game, and for that you'll have to wear the dartboard, and you will be throwing 6 darts on the dartboard. Don't worry, these are not the pointed ones.
I'm used to it.
Oh, really nice. So, okay, can we have the dart, please? Yeah, like that. And the dart. Yeah. One, two, good. Closer. Oh. Almost there. And the last one. Well, that was really amazing. And back to you, Manish.
क्या बात है यार. यार मतलब बड़ा अच्छा डार्ट गेम खेला. मैंने पहली बार किसी लड़की को एक लड़के को ऐसे डांटते हुए देखा है. दैट वाज अ गुड वन. यू कैन लाफ. आप घर पे बैठे बैठे जहां भी लाइव देख रहे हैं बिल्कुल हंस सकते हैं. बट एक्चुअली बुलजाय मारा उन्होंने यार. ये भी हो सकता है अगर आगे पिन्स होते डार्ट में तो थोड़ा डेंजरस हो सकता था. नेवर माइंड, ये तो थे मोटो हब्स. बट एज आई टोल्ड यू वी हैव अ लॉट इन स्टोर फॉर यू. सो आई थिंक आफ्टर इतना टेकी स्टफ, आफ्टर मोटो हब्स, it's time for some masti music, some fellas. What do you say? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, अब म्यूजिक की बात करी है तो एक अनोखे तरह का म्यूजिक आपके सामने आएगा. प्लीज वेलकम द acapellas. यार मैं भी गा सकता हूँ आपके साथ, प्लीज आइए ना प्लीज. बहुत अच्छी लग रही है आप.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, go. Hello, Moto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. One more time. One more time.
Like the legend of the phoenix, what ends the beginning? What keeps the planet spinning? The force in the beginning.
We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. Say, we're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get up all night to get lucky.
Last night I had a dream about you in the street, standing right beside you. There's nothing wrong with having just a bit of fun. We were dancing all night long. Oh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I hope this dream comes true. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Alright, oh yeah, let's keep on dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate.
Work it harder,
Make it better,
do it faster,
makes us stronger.
more than
Ever, hour after
hour. Working, never over. Working
make it
better, do it
makes us
stronger. Our work is never over.
Television rules a nation. Oh, yeah. Television rules a nation.
Music's got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling the need. Come on and celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. Tonight, hey, this feeling. Music's got me feeling so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. Come on and celebrate, celebrate, let's do the stars.
We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up for one more night. We're up all night to the sun.
Oh, celebration, yeah.
Feeling so free. Oh, one more night. We're up all night to the sun.
Celebration, yeah.
Feeling so work is
Never over.
Thank you
so much.
Everything you're about to hear and everything you're hearing is done purely by the power of our voices. 6 voices, 0 instruments, and we are Raga Trippin.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Dance until the drum music's never gonna stop. Get up, let's hit the floor, drop the beat, wow, wow. Dance until the drum music's never gonna stop. Get up, let's hit the floor, drop the beat, go wow, wow. Dance until you drop music's never gonna stop. Get up, let's hit the floor, drop the beat, go wow, wow. Dance until you drop music's never gonna stop. Get up, let's hit the floor, drop the beat, go wow. Ayashiya, लाई जाए रातें, थोड़ी जल के दिल को फिसलने तू दे. चालाकिया, सोची समझी चाले, थोड़ी चल के दिल को फिसलने तू दे.
Music
hit the floor, drop the beat, go oh 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 oh.
If you gotta go, hey, if you gotta go, तू मेरे साथ कर दे हर डर को, कायदे खुद पे ना कोई लगा, 'cause we
साथ में लापरवाह हो जाए दोनों सरा हुआ, साथ में लापरवाह,
'cause tonight we dance.
साथ में लापरवाह हो जाए दोनों सरा हुआ, साथ में लापरवाह,
'Cause tonight we dance.
साथ में लापरवाह हो जाए दोनों सरा हुआ, साथ में लापरवाह,
'Cause tonight we dance.
साथ में लापरवाह हो जाए दोनों सरा हुआ, साथ में लापरवाह,
'Cause tonight we dance.
जिगर इस बात पे है बस कि कहीं न ये रात निकल जाए, मेरे इतने भी पास तू आ मत, कहीं मेरे हाथों से न बात निकल जाए।
खो गए हम और तुम, तो उड़ गई नींदें और खन की पायल मस्ती में, तो कंगन लगे रे हम्मा 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 हम्मा, ए हम्मा 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 हम्मा।
Club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, drinking fast, and then we talk slow. Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop, put the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. I'm singing like,
Boy, I know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Coming out for my need. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Coming out for my lead. Coming out for my lead.
Well, I'm in love with the shape of you, like ocean pull like a magnet too, although my heart is still in two. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why. I'm in love with your body. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why. I'm in love with your body. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you.
We're going out on our first date. You and me, a thrift, just so get all you can eat. Fill up the bag and fill the buffet. Go for hours and hours of food, sweet and the sour. How your family is doing okay. We sip and get in the taxi, kiss in the backseat till the driver make the radio play. And I'm singing like, boy, I know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Coming out for my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, love, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Coming out for my lead. Coming out for my lead.
Oh, I'm in love with the shape of you. Red ocean pull like a magnet too, although my heart is still in two. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new.